Hi everyone, today I am going to talk about the classification of hydrocarbons. Now before going into the details of the classification, let me first tell you what is a hydrocarbon. So as you can see in the name also, it is hydrocarbon. So hydrocarbons are the compounds which are formed from hydrogen and carbon. Now hydrocarbons are broadly divided into open chain hydrocarbons and closed chain hydrocarbons. Open chain hydrocarbons are also called as acyclic hydrocarbons or aliphatic hydrocarbons. So these are the hydrocarbons in which carbons are linked in straight or branch chains. So the carbons are just connected together and they form a straight chain, or it might be branched also. But in case of closed chain hydrocarbons, these are also called as cyclic hydrocarbons. Why? Because these hydrocarbons are formed when the carbon atoms are forming the rings. It means that they are connected in such a way that they form the rings. Open chain hydrocarbons are divided into saturated hydrocarbons and unsaturated hydrocarbons, as you can see here. Saturated hydrocarbons are also called as alkanes or paraffins. The general formula for alkanes is CnH2n plus 2, and these are the hydrocarbons having only single bonds among carbons. So it means that there is only single bond between all the carbons. For example, as you can see here in the propane, there is only single bond between all of these carbons. In the case of unsaturated hydrocarbons, these are the hydrocarbons having at least one carbon-carbon multiple bond. Now, what is the meaning of multiple bond? We can see in here. The unsaturated hydrocarbons are divided into alkenes or alkynes. Alkenes are also called as olefins, and its general formula is CnH2n. So these are the hydrocarbons having at least one carbon-carbon double bond. As you can see in propene also, there is one carbon-carbon double bond here. And when we are talking about alkynes, the formula for alkynes is CnH2n minus 2, and these are the hydrocarbons which have at least one carbon-carbon triple bond. As you can see in here that there is one triple bond in here in the case of propane. Now let's move to the closed chain hydrocarbons. As I have already told you that these are the hydrocarbons in which the carbon atoms form rings. But what is the further difference between these kinds of rings? So they are divided into alicyclic hydrocarbons and aromatic hydrocarbons. Aromatic hydrocarbons are the hydrocarbons which have 4n plus 2 pi electrons. So it means that when we are talking about benzene, benzene has 6 pi electrons. So they follow this formula, that is 4n plus 2 pi electrons. So that is why it comes under the aromatic hydrocarbon. Now when we are talking about alicyclic hydrocarbons, these are the hydrocarbons, they are cyclic but they have ring other than aromatic ring. So it means that it doesn't has 4n plus 2 pi electrons. Now these alicyclic hydrocarbons are divided into cyclic alkanes and cyclic alkynes, where the basic difference between alkenes and alkynes is still the same, that is the bonding. In cyclic alkanes, they have only single bond, but it is in the form of cycle. So it's a cyclic hydrocarbon but having single bond between carbons. Now when we are talking about cyclic alkenes, these are the cyclic hydrocarbons having at least one carbon-carbon double bond, as you can see in the cyclopentene. And in the case of cyclic alkynes, these are the cyclic hydrocarbons having at least one carbon-carbon triple bond, as in the case of cyclopentine. And when we are talking about the general formula, the cyclic alkanes have a formula of CnH2n. Cyclic alkenes have a formula of CnH2n minus 2, and cyclic alkynes have a formula of CnH2n minus 4. So this was about the classification of hydrocarbons. If you want to know more about any of these hydrocarbons, then please write in the comment section. Please like and subscribe to my channel, Log Iota. Thank you so much.